Each of these stolen cars is a mobile crime scene that is related to a litany of other crimes.
Tonight, Columbus police tell us that they're now seeing a new breed of teen crook. Now, this comes a year after police agencies across central Ohio began tracking groups of kids who were targeting purses. Tonight, Steve Levine uncovers what this new group of juvenile crooks is after.
A year ago, law enforcement agencies around central Ohio began tracking groups of teens who were targeting women to steal purses and cars to commit other serious crimes. The program, dubbed Operation Game Over, police say, now seeing a drop in crime.
We've seen results. And so the results are is crime has dipped amongst this group of kids, and we've seen less activity by them. Police now zeroing in on a new type of teen crook not directly tied to Game Over. Groups of up to 4 kids stealing cars. The morning of the 3rd, we had 5 stolen cars by this group at one location, that they were asleep in the cars. Within the past month, police have seen a spike in these types of car thefts in Linden, Brittany Hills, and near the airport and campus. The kid thieves targeting Hyundais and Kias. They're getting online and they're seeing how it's done on YouTube or wherever of how to rapidly steal these cars. Last month, 2 juveniles were arrested after crashing a stolen car on East 20th Avenue. Some of these kids as young as 13. Inside the car, we have stolen credit cards, we get weapons, we get all kinds of stuff. And so it's more than just about the stolen car. These cars are a gateway to other crimes. And just like Operation Game Over, police sending a stern message to these underage car thieves, many who are repeat offenders. You need to stop. You may have gotten away with a pattern recently, but you are on our radar, and we're going to do something about this. On your side in Columbus, I'm Steve Levine, ABC6 News.
More districts in central Ohio are now closing and switching back to remote learning temporarily because of surging COVID cases. But making the switch back to remote could have an impact on students' mental health. It comes as they're reminded of the social isolation and anxiety they had to go through all of last year. Alexis Moberger with the crisis in the classroom telling us more about what counselors are now saying.
I definitely think it will affect people's mental health.
As Omicron surges, some districts are now adjusting plans, some switching back to remote for the next couple of weeks.
So I am concerned with the pivot back to virtual learning that we might lose some of those gains that we've made at school.
Counselors say some students may be feeling anxiety or deja vu about starting the year off remotely, remembering that feeling of isolation and loss of social connection.
It's very difficult, and often one would just default to, okay, well, here we go again. This is really unfortunate, and I don't even know if I feel like trying now.
One positive thing is that I think the districts that are going remote are doing this on a short-term basis. This isn't like last year where we don't know when we're going to get back.
Dr. Sarah Bodie with Nationwide Children's is now the medical consultant for Columbus City Schools. She says it's important for schools going remote to think about how quickly they can get back to in-person learning.
Right? We have all the measures in place. We have the criteria for getting back to in-person learning. So I'm hopeful that by students knowing this is short term, that may be easier for them to navigate how to handle that.
Counselors say it's best to talk with your child as they deal with yet another obstacle during the pandemic.
How can I help you handle this? How can we make this better? And putting some supports in place.
Not all school districts have decided to go back to remote learning, but some are considering it, especially larger districts. But counselors say it's still best to prepare your student if there is a possibility their school could go back to remote rather than them finding out about it last minute. For Crisis in the Classroom, I'm Alexis Moberger reporting.
A heads up for OSU students ahead of spring semester and amid soaring COVID numbers in Ohio. Luann Stoya has details.
Students who live in residence halls like this one will have to get a COVID test this weekend here on campus before they move in for the semester.
So they'll go first to the French Field House. They'll take a rapid test. They'll know the results within about 15 minutes.
As students brace against the winter cold, they're also bracing for what will come as COVID infections rise.
I think the uncertainty is probably the scariest part right now.
Ohio State says if students test positive for COVID, they need to have a plan for isolation housing. There are limited beds on campus. After 5 days of isolation, students can attend classes in person as long as all symptoms are resolved.
We've done everything we can to prioritize that in-person experience. It's what makes Ohio State great, and we know that it's what our students, faculty, and staff prefer.
While sports like basketball are still a go, the university is encouraging activities and meetings to be done virtually if possible. Students like Joey Miller say with 92.5% of the campus vaccinated, they have a shot at staying in person.
I think it'd be better if they required that all students were boosted too, because I think that the data, CDC is saying that booster shots are what's effective against the Omicron variant.
OSU is scheduling booster shot clinics on campus and asks students to voluntarily report it when they get the shot. What will be the tipping point for Ohio State to go all virtual?
We have very intentionally stayed away from a numerical threshold or a set criteria.
OSU says faculty should offer flexible arrangements for students who are sick or in quarantine.
Our faculty want to be in their classroom, our students want to be living on campus, and so, we want to do everything we can to provide that experience.
Ohio State leaders say they will continue to monitor the COVID situation as it evolves. OSU is planning a virtual town hall Thursday for families to stay up to speed. On your side, I'm Luann Stoya reporting.